why cloud is needed and how it can be coming into the existence. And also we had discussed about two mechanisms which supported or else which made virtualization possible. That is, one is emulation and the simulation. To brief, if the while virtualizing, if the original principle or else the concept, original concept or else real-time principle or concept is being followed to virtualize, then it is called as emulation. And if we don't follow the original principle, and if we follow some other mechanism, but still if we can try to get the expected output as per as that of the real time, then we call that as a simulation part. Okay, so moving ahead, we will look into the objectives of virtualization. Why do we think virtualization is needed? In what sense virtualization plays a crucial role? So basically there are four objectives, and we will discuss each one of them. First one being the increased use of hardware resources. Second one is reduced management and reduced cost incurred. Third one is improvisation of the business. Fourth one is majorly it addresses about the security aspect and the downtime part. Okay, so first we will look into the increased use of hardware resources. As we see, majorly the hardware revolution is happening very vigorously. Say something like if I had purchased a laptop 5 years back with 4 GB RAM or 3 GB RAM, it used to be most fascinating and most evaluating one, or most latest one. By then, there would not be 8 GB or 16 GB machines, isn't it? Okay, but down the line, after 5 years, when you have another friend, okay, who purchases a laptop with the 16 GB RAM, you feel, I have wasted so much of money. That's a very quite common thing, isn't it? Okay, that's how the revolution that is happening in evolution of the hardware resources. Every now and then, hardware is rising its capacity. Its capacity is being very much increased. The reason behind it is as simple as that. To give the user the best. That is it. Okay. So in order to achieve that motiveness, okay, every other organization who is in the business, they have to stay in the competition, and hence they make their hardware, or else they make their entities more powerful day by day. Not only RAM, what example I had taken, but if we also see the CPUs, okay, nowadays the systems are now growing into GPUs, isn't it, right? So you can observe similar kind of things, similar kind of revolution even in mobile phones also. Previously, if you wanted to purchase 2 GB RAM mobile phones, it used to cost more than 10,000 or more than 12,000 or so. I'm talking around 5 years back. Okay, but nowadays under 10,000 you can get those particular devices. That means previously you should spend around 20,000 for getting a 4 GB RAM mobile, but now for the same 20,000 you could afford almost 8 GB mobile phones, isn't it? Okay, so this being the case, you can observe that hardware resources utilization is more and more. Hardware resources utilization is more and more because of this. Okay, definitely you could think about the virtualization. Okay, now probably because of say for example, again I can go with one more example, like our college example itself. Say for example, in the last year, thinking that for the next semester or next year a new lab has to be set up to for you people to show the RLs to execute the cloud computing lab experiments. Okay, so in such case, probably latest machines at that point of time would have been purchased, but now being in the pandemic situation, it is not necessary, or else it does not make useful for us to literally use them, isn't it, right? So now what we think, whatever the investment that has been induced for securing that lab, okay, is now you think that it is waste. You think that it is now waste, or else you can think that okay, with that money I can get now a much more sophisticated machines for the lab. Okay, so this is one area where you can think about virtualization. That means when you have to change frequently the hardware, when you have to change the hardware very frequently, then obviously instead of purchasing, you can go for virtualizing them. That is the first object. Moving on to the second one, reduced management costs and reduced cost incurred. In continuation to the previous example, as I told, for 20,000 you could get only 2 GB RAM machines or 2 GB RAM mobiles few years back. Now for the same cost, okay, for the same cost, now you could afford much more higher version, isn't it? Okay, so that means the cost is not paying back you. It is not paying back, isn't it? So whenever you purchase something, you think about how does it pay back you, isn't it? Right? If I am affording 20,000 rupees, I will think about in what sense I'm getting benefited out of it. Otherwise, I can go with 10,000 rupees mobiles also, isn't it? Right? So that is one aspect. And second thing is, if I want to increase the RAM now, then definitely it goes under the management costs. Definitely it goes under the management cost. So that means for the same price, you are not at all getting the current day's configuration, but still you got to pay more to be into the configuration as on date. To be into the configuration as on date. Say, for example, again, you would have purchased laptop of 2 GB for 45,000 or so in the year 2014 or 13, say something like that. Okay, so your friend have bought for the same 45,000, he has purchased 8 GB RAM. 8 GB RAM enabled laptops. Okay, now you think that okay, fine, my laptop is old, now I need to equip that. Why? Because to run few programs, okay, to run few programs, we need to have our hardware configuration. Okay, so to keep up that hardware configuration, what I intend to do is I will intend to add additional RAM, isn't it? I will try to add additional RAM. Now for this, I need to invest much more thing, isn't it? Agreed or not? Now, okay, fine. I will go and invest. Let it cost few more thousands. Say probably it cost me around another 4,000 or 5,000 change. Okay, then I will purchase that. Now, when I try to install it, I will be facing few particular issues. I will be facing few particular issues. Again, I need to go back to the vendor. I need to get it sorted out, isn't it? I need to get it cleared with them, isn't it? No? So with this, what we understand is initial cost is 45,000. Additional cost to keep up the configuration as on date is another 5,000. Apart from investing 50,000, still you are not able to have it handy, or else you are not able to have the things as per your expectations, provided you had to visit the manufacturer for getting the things sorted out, isn't it? Right? So these are all a few other I can say hurdles. I can say hurdles in maintaining yourselves up to date, isn't it? Okay. So because of these things, again you can think about the virtualization. See, for individual devices, it doesn't take much impact. Say for one device, okay, 5,000, okay, let it go, and we will call one person and we will get it sorted out. But assume if I want to upgrade entire lab of 60 machines, 60 into 5,000, that is the cost incurred. And for all the 60 machines, I should get the manufacturer support for getting it enabled. So these are really clumsy things, isn't it? Right? Okay. So these will not allow us to though we wish to be up to date, but these things will be posing as hurdles. Okay, so this is the second objective where you can think about the virtualization. We can reduce the maintenance, we can reduce the management, and we can reduce the further incurring costs. Okay. Now, The third objective is improvising the business. Improvising the business. Okay. Now, you people would have gone to ATMs, is it? You people would have gone to ATMs. So few ATMs will be very user friendly. Few ATMs will be very user friendly, and few are not. Probably the bank will be one and the same, or else the software would be one and the same, but the ATM machines or else the hardware structure, okay, it doesn't help you much. Or else I can give one more example. You can consider mobile devices. See, throughout this cloud computing course, I'll be taking use of the mobiles and the bank ATMs only for the example. Okay, why? Because they are closely related to our day-to-day use, isn't it? That's the reason. Okay, so and that will be very much connected because in day-to-day life we'll be using them and will be coming across. Okay, that's good. So consider this mobile. Okay, so you can see mobile for from Oppo, OnePlus, Vivo, and Realme, isn't it? Okay, so all these are all again Chinese companies, and you can see that the same configuration will be available at different prices. Will be available at different prices. Okay. Now, if I consider Realme phone. Okay. So probably I could be getting the 4 GB RAM phone for 10,000 rupees, and I'll be getting if I would like to go with the Oppo phone, probably I'd be getting that Oppo phone for 15,000 rupees. And if I would like to go with OnePlus, probably I need to pay 40,000 rupees. Isn't it? Right? Now, if I want to run my business, and I would like to have mobile phones to be used in my business by my business administrators, which phone I'll be buying for them? Do you think I'll be buying OnePlus for them? No, I'll be buying which phones? Literally Realme. Why? Because I want to get on my cost. Okay. Now, by using the Realme phones, say probably I can be doing this business for certain while. But down the time, when the again hardware upgrades, when again the mobile gets upgraded, okay. So whatever phone you are having, it is not much helpful to render your business, to deliver or else to entertain your customers. So you got to update those particular things. So that is not that much easy. Why? Because after a few years, again, you have to update your phone, isn't it? Right? So what happens is you are not able to stay comfortably within the business, This is where one such particular problem. Okay. And one more example I would like to give here is, say when your business is smaller enough, say for example we have like school. Well, let us assume school business. Okay, so if the pandemic situation is not there, definitely school will be purchasing more number of transport devices like buses. They have to purchase to accommodate the students, isn't it? Right? But now at that point of time, they will be paying any cost to get the new vehicles and attract the students for transporting, isn't it? Right? But now, being in the pandemic situation, do you think those transport devices will be helpful? And what do you think? The school will still be possessing those buses, but merely they are wasted, isn't it? That resource is not much useful. So now, which is the, I mean, to stay in the competition, what it is you got to purchase? Now you have to purchase online, like what is that? A learning management system tools you have to purchase. Agreed or not? So that means to stay alive in the business in accordance with the customers, you have to revisit on your entities. Probably down the line after 2 years or so, when this pandemic situation is over and when life gets to previous normal, not the new normal, okay? So when the life gets back to the previous normal, where people are again back to their work as usual, okay? Again, at that point of time, the buses will play a crucial role, right? Now, thinking that thinking about the current situation, the school people cannot sell their buses. Why? Again, in near future they might have to purchase back. At the time, again, their cost will be more and more. Agreed or not? Okay. So to stay alive in the business, to make your business as flexible as possible for the customer benefit, you have to think about the virtualization. You have to think about the virtualization. Just assume, okay, just assume if you convert the buses into LMS, or else, in other words, I can say that assuming the cost incurred in the in acquiring the buses can be used also for the LMS, and then how good it will be. Agreed or not? Okay. So that is the business flexibility, what stood as one of the important objective for the virtualization. And the final objective is the security and the downtime. This is something important. When we go for first, I will try to address the downtime part. Why? Because as of the security is concerned, yes, every time we understand that security is most important aspect, and the devices that are coming in now, okay, so they should be equipped with more and more highly sophisticated security aspects. Highly sophisticated security aspects, they have to be enabled. Okay. So over a period of time, the lock system are individual Godrej locks. That means the latch will be there. You have to put the latch, and then you got to lock the key for that latch. But nowadays, what is happening? Nowadays, the inbuilt lock, the lock is now attached with the door itself, where there is no latch system. Directly, you insert the key into the lock that is inscribed into the door, okay, and directly you lock it. Basically, you cannot understand whether the door is locked from inside or not. Such kind of mechanism. Even now, going forward, you can see that, okay, there are now digital locks that are coming in. Even there is no analog key system. There will be a digital lock content. Okay, so where you will be setting up a code. Once you enter that code, then the door opens up. Otherwise, it is not. So you can see that the security mechanisms are also growing. Depending upon the device and depending upon the business, depending upon the technology. Similarly, when you think about the providing security for your business entities, obviously you have to support the security for the latest devices as well. You have to support for the latest devices as well, isn't it? Okay, so that's about the security part. Now, talking about the downtime part, let me tell you, all of us would have been using Google for something or other, okay, isn't it? So how quickly it shows the search results? How quickly it shows the search results? Probably in seconds, say around 10 seconds or 5 seconds, or okay, make it 20 seconds at least, isn't it? Okay, so that means it is very quickly it is responding back. Now, let us assume Google server is down. Google server is down for a while. Now, at that point of time, you started searching. Then, do you think the search response will be in seconds? No. Search response will be probably in more than a minute or so, or else it might be taking 2 to 3 minutes to retrieve back. So this latency, we call it as a downtime. That means, of course, we will be there for service delivery. We'll be there for service delivery. But if the service delivery is not happening in time because of the delivering end problems, you call that as a downtime. So, for example, the person will be issuing tokens. You step into the restaurant, you purchase something, and you will be giving the tokens, isn't it? Okay. So ideally, you will be receiving the tokens in a fraction of seconds. You pay that, and you get the token, isn't it? Right. Now let us assume the person who is issuing the token wants to drink water, or else he might be going to for restroom, or else he might attend a phone. At that point of time, he is not available to deliver the service, isn't it? Right. Okay. So how much time you can bear that break in the service? How much time do you break? So if we keep on talking the phone for more than minutes, okay, so what do you tell? You will immediately ask him, hey man, first issue the token and then you talk, you continue your talk, isn't it? Or else if he goes out for a short while, okay, you will feel irritated. How much time this person takes for restroom, isn't it? Or else if he keep on drinking the water, or else if he is engaging something else, okay. So definitely the people in the queue, okay, they will get irritated and they will ask the person to respond immediately, isn't it? Okay, so that unavailability part of the service, you call that as a downtime. You call that as a downtime. So in the software technology, what happens is usually servers will be needing upgrades or else patches or else some sort of maintenance activity will be happening. So during that maintenance activity, the software will not be able to deliver the service. The software will not be able to deliver the service, isn't it? Okay. So at that time, we call that the service is down. The service is down. Now, how quickly it comes back to its service? How quickly it come back to deliver its service? You call that as a downtime. Another example I would like to give, say for example, if you had entered into an ATM, if there is money, yes, it is giving the service, isn't it? Right? Now, when it is running out of the money, it is down. Now, again, when it will be back, when the money is put into that ATM, again it will be coming back, isn't it? Right? So how much time does it take? Probably it may take an hour, or else it may take one day also. It depends upon how the person comes in and he puts the money into the machine. Agreed or not? Okay. So that is what we'll be calling it as downtime. Now, when the cloud services are concerned, especially, you don't expect more of this downtime, more of this downtime. So why you people are very much using Google? Because it gives very quickly the responses. It gives a response very quickly. That's the reason we people are habituated to Google. In fact, we started synonymizing the word search with Google. Instead of asking you to search it, okay, people are asking Google it. So that's how it has been replaced, because it has a very, 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 very minute downtime. Probably 1 minute or two. Probably 1 minute or two, not more than that. You can check at any point of time. Google will be available. Okay, so that is what is how they are trying to cope up the reduced downtime. They are trying to cope up the reduced downtime. But many a times, okay, few applications will not be working because of huge downtime. Okay, even banks at times they will be communicating their customers, telling that okay, from night 2 o'clock to morning 3 o'clock, the systems will be undergoing certain maintenance. At that point of time, there will all the bank transactions are hanged, and hence kindly bear the delay. So that is what they mean is their downtime is 1 hour. Their downtime is 1 hour. So that is about the downtime. Okay. So when it comes to the virtualization part, okay, in order to reduce the downtime, or else in order to increase the security of the devices that are being provided, not only the hardware devices but also about the software component. Okay. So definitely we can think about the virtualization. I'm done with the virtualization part, and just to conclude, okay, you can see the screen. Okay, before virtualization, what happens is usually the entire software application, okay, it needs file servers, web servers, and database servers also. That's a different thing. Okay, now let us assume if I need one file server, I will be purchasing one entire machine, and I will dedicatedly call that machine as a file server. Probably I'll be needing one more web server, and I'll be purchasing one more new machine, and I'll be dedicatedly calling it as web server. Now, what is the full efficiency usage of these servers? I'm not using entirely. Probably I'm using only 20% of the file server as well as the web server. See, this is not virtualization. But if we have virtualization, we could purchase only one server, and we could have both file server as well as the web server within that one single server. And why? Because only 20% of the server is being used for file serving, and only 20% of is being used for web serving, and another still 60% is again available, isn't it? So 20% for file server, 20% for web service. So 40% is being consumed. Still, you can see that another 60% of the server is open for use. So that is what, okay. So for this before virtualization part, you can see that two times, that is two things you got to purchase. As you purchase the two things, you have to maintain these two things. Also, as you have purchased the two machines, you have to have the floor space. That means where you got to install it, or else where you got to deploy it, okay. And for both the machines, you got to use the power. That is nothing but the energy usage. All these things are doubled because you had two devices, isn't it? Right now, if you had only one device, probably you would be ending up with purchase of one device, maintenance, and the floor space, energy. So you can claim that with the virtualization, utilization is much more enhanced. What do you say? Agreed or not? Okay, fine. Anyhow, with this, I will stop the today's class, and I would like to welcome if anyone has any concerns, or else we will end the class. Okay, then I'm closing the class. Thank you.